Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. And I have just come back from my university to home, and it's a very sunny out here. But after that I come back and it's really hot. And now I have just take up the camera and record the video. So we will come back to our topic today, and it is a weekend, and I have just um, spent a very long and very tiring week. That is the first week when I come back uh, from the from a long time of holiday, and to start the new semester of this course. Yes, and our topic today is about the culture, because I have just learned a very new subject at my university. That is the cross cultural communication subject. Um, yeah, so about the culture, um, you know, when we the culture is the typical element of every countries in the world. Um, and because that is the typical element, so the country will become special with the culture. If the country has no culture, it's not become a special country. And Vietnam, we have our own culture, and Singapore, they it has their own culture, right? You know, so um, culture is the thing that is really important, because that is the special thing, that is the typical elements that I said before. So if you want to immigrate, or if you want to travel to some countries in the world, you need to learn about the culture first, because when you learn about the culture, when you move to that country, you will know how to communicate. You will know how to live in the correct way. Yeah. um, and 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 and, and that is very important thing to talk about when you comes to um, when you comes to a very new environment. When you come to a very new environment, I have to say that like a new country, right? The first thing that your first reaction, what is it? Your first reaction will be really excited, right? Because maybe when someone invites you to go to Vũng Tàu tomorrow, go to Singapore tomorrow, or go to the USA next month, the first reaction is that you will become very happy, extremely happy, very excited. Yeah, that is our failure. Yeah, mean that you extreme hyper happy. Yep, that is the first reaction, because when you just live in, for example, if I live in Ho Chi Minh City when I was born until now, so whenever I have the opportunity to travel somewhere else, of course I feel really excited, and I want to move to that place immediately, um, especially for those countries overseas. Yeah, and the next stage after we get excited, um, you will be excited for just about 1 or 2 days or 2 weeks. It's not a, it doesn't matter, right? But after 1 month or 2 months, when you approach with a lot of new things, because every countries have their own culture. So you adapt to, you approach with a very new culture, a new behavior, a new attitude, about this very strange people, about a very strange environment. What will happen next? Of course, 1 or 2 months, you will be a little bit unpleasant, and you feel you are not get used to it. because the environment, because the people, because the way they act, because the way they communicate with each other, right? For example, when we live in Vietnam and people drive the car, the vehicles on the left hand, up the road. But when we move to Thailand, we have to do the opposite one. You have to drive your car on the right side of the road. Yeah, I think that is a very difference between two countries. That's called the culture, and especially in Thailand, you need to avoid, you need to minimize to use the honk of your vehicles. Uh, it, it doesn't like Vietnam or any countries around the world because Thailand is considered to be a very quiet country. They they elevate the quietness. They try to keep silent because in their opinion everything is happen gradually, just just like something just they really like the peace. Yeah, so everything just gradually, slowly, stably, and quiet, quietly. Yeah, because they you know their um, their religion is Buddhism. So that's why they they need to do something to show the respect, like be quiet or something like that. And do you know that? Don't you know that every man in Thailand, when they when when they when they are 18, when they are 18, they have to they have to go to the church to become a monk for about 2 months. Every single man. It's just like a military service in Vietnam. That when you reach 18, you have to do a do a mission. It, it's just like a duty for the country. Yeah, so it's the same for Thailand. You have to go to the church and you become a monk for 2 months, and at that time you have to go to every morning, you have to go to the street, and you have to jogging and have to travel or every place to beg for the food, beg for the drink, or for the money or something like that. And after that, in the afternoon, when you come back to the church, you have the lunch, and yeah, something like that. And you try to train yourself, you try to practice yourself, you try to learn in the church. When you know I think it's just all about you try to you try to boost, you try to empower your patient's characteristic. Yeah, and after 2 months, when you graduate, you will get a certificate, and when you have a certificate, it's really valuable. Yeah, because I know this thing when I have a chance to travel in Thailand, and the tourist guys say that if if the man want to marry the girl in Thailand, at first the parents of the girls will ask him about the certificate of the church. Yeah, and if he showed the certificate, of course the parents will allow him to marry their girl. And I think that is a very fundamental element to be a man in Thailand. So if you if you want to be a Thailand citizen, you need to be a monk first for about 2 months, right? Yeah. So I mean, if if we want to move to the country, if we want to immigrate, if we want to live in the country, in some country overseas, in the very different country. Of course, the first thing we need to learn about the not just the language, but about the culture. Of course, the language is the very first thing, because when you try to move to that country, you need to unable to speak in the language that the host country use it. Yes, of course, I know that the very common language in the world is English right now, and that's why people tend to study English by any cost. Um, but if you want to show the respect, if you want the people to notice you, if you want to become, if you want to live there in a very comfortable situation, you need to learn the language of the host country. Like you move to Japan, for example. Of course, they know they know how to speak English, but if you know how to speak Japanese and you communicate with them by Japanese, they will show you the respect. Yeah, because the Japanese people, they really you know, they really love their country, and they are really proud of it. I mean, he is the how can I say that? Enthusiasm. Yeah, I mean that they are super proud about their country. That's why they although they know how to speak English, but they try their best to just to use Japanese. And when the tourist, when the foreigner moves to their country, and they are able to speak Japanese, of course they will earn the respect from the Japanese people. Yeah, and the third thing is that, you know what? The very important thing, mean the last thing that you need to know when you move to a new country, when you adapt with a new culture, that you shouldn't you you shouldn't forget your own culture. I mean that work to maintain your own culture. Because why? Because I know that if you try if you are a Vietnamese person and you immigrate to United States, for example, and you become a citizen at that in that country, for example, and after that you have the you have the American name, right? And you speak English. You communicate with American people every time. Mm. But your your original still be Vietnamese people, Vietnamese citizen. Yeah, and you cannot change it. You cannot change your nationality. You cannot change your characteristic. You cannot change your origin. So respect, and don't and never forget your own culture. Yeah, that's why, you know, in the United States there are a lot of Vietnamese people. They just try to you know, every year about that holiday occasion, for example, they try to celebrate the Tet holiday just like the way Vietnamese people do in that holiday, in that occasion. Yeah, and and someone say that the Tet holiday in the United States is funnier than the Tet holiday of Vietnamese people. Yeah, yeah, because they can use you know, they allow people to use the rocket or the rocker, you know, how can I say that? The rocket, yeah, in that country. So I think it's really fun. The lion dance or something like that, just like Vietnam, but it's funnier. Yeah, and the third stage is of course the second thing, that you feel very a little bit unpleasant and you are not yet accustomed to to the new environment, right? And after that you are you you tend to adjust your behavior, you tend to adjust your attitude, you tend to adjust your habit to 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 adapt with the new environment. That is the time, because you know that when you tend to live in the foreign country for a very long time, of course at first you feel a lot of unpleasant and you want to come back to your own country, to your hometown. But if you want to live there, if you want to exist there, if you want to find a job and live there for a very long time, of course you need to adjust your behavior. For example, if you move to Singapore, right? You are a Singapore student, study abroad in Singapore, and in Vietnam you just know how to take a bus ticket to move from your house to your college. But in Singapore, the main transportation that they use is the metro rail. So if you want to work there, if you want to study there, you need to know how to get used to the metro rail system. Yeah. Um, and you need to learn a map of that country too. Yeah, and the fourth stage, that it means the last stage of adapt with the culture is that let me see. Okay, after we get unpleasant, after that we try to adjust our behavior, our habit to adapt with the culture, and after that we feel comfortable. We feel we think that of course you adjust it for a very long time and you get accustomed, you get used to it, and after that you just want to stay in that country forever. it's it's really fun when we know, the fact that some Vietnamese people, like my cousin, for example, when she moves to the United States, and just about the first 2 years when she studied there, she feel really boring. She feel really bored about United States, and she really wanted to come back to Vietnam. She missed her mother, her father, and every relatives. I mean, the extended family. But after 4 years, 5 years, and until now, when she gets accustomed to everything, the environment of the United States of America, and she just wants to work there and have the family there forever. So I mean, yeah, I think that is the fact. Is it's sad to say that, but that is the fact. So whenever you have a boyfriend or you have a girlfriend in Vietnam, and when he or she moves to the foreign country to study or to work, uh, just ask them when 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 will you come back? If he or she replied 4 or 5 years, back up with him or her immediately, as soon as possible. Yeah, and yeah, that is the fourth stage. That is the fourth stage of the culture shocking, of the culture shock. Yeah, so make sure that you need to learn about the culture whenever you want to move to the new environment, the new country, the new place. You want to live there, or you just travel. Of course, you need to learn about the culture, know how to behave, know how to show your suitable attitude towards the people in that country. Yeah, because some people, they they didn't know, they didn't, they wasn't aware the of the culture of the country, of the different country first, and when they travel there, they did a lot of unacceptable behavior. Recently, the really specific example is Logan Paul, the very famous YouTuber, the YouTube star. He's really famous, but you know what? He's always do something related to prank the vines, something to trick the people to get a like, to get the views on YouTube. Yeah, and maybe he earns money and he gets fame because of something like that. But now he he's getting a lot of criticism, a lot of feedback, a lot of judgment because of his behavior, due to his behavior behavior towards the Japan, towards Japan when he made a trip to Japan. Um, the first thing is that when he moved to when he when he when he visited the Japanese suicide forest, and when he saw a corpse, he recorded the video, and he tried to make a shock. He tried to you know, to make a shock to trick the cops, and that is unacceptable. That is unacceptable in every country, and I think that behavior is considered to be immature, and um, it's really wrong. And after that, he recorded 3 or 4 videos when he, you know, when he visited the Japanese church, and Japanese people consider that when you go to the church and you visit or you spray with a lot of bubbles, with variety of bubbles, but you need to show the respect by keep silent. Yeah, but when he goes there, when he went there, he did everything opposite to the the law of the people, like you know, making noise, like treating people, something. If you watch the video, you will hate him, honestly. And when he moved to you know, when he moved to the street um, in Japan, he tried to trick the people, or you know, when he visited a fish market, he buy the fish and a shrimp, and he brought it to the street to trick the people, and Japanese people consider that the food is it puts a lot of effort when the producer try to collect the food. So the Japanese people is really give the thankful and the respect for the food, but he used that for fun to trick the people. And after that, you know what? He left the food, he left the fish and the shrimp on the taxi car, on the taxi. Oh my God, what the hell was that? What the hell was that? It's unacceptable for every people, and a lot of things around him. So I think that is the very specific example of misunderstood about the culture. If you want to travel to some countries that you like, if you travel to every world, every place that you like, at first try to know about the culture, try to enable to be aware of the environment, the people, the habit, the way they do. So you need to observe a lot, you need to learn a lot, you need to be aware of a lot of things before you move to the place that you like, the brand new place. So there's a statement: when in Rome, do as Roman do. When in Rome, do as Romans do. Means that if you are in a different country, you need to do everything like them, behave like them, show respect like them, communicate like them. Don't try to be different. Don't try to show that I am a special guy, or I want to trick you, or I want to be a funnier, or I want to be or I want to do something which is really weird to get the like the view on YouTube or Facebook or social media. Yeah, not. So today we end up with the culture, culture shocking, and I just want to say that learn a lot, learn as much culture as you can, and when you learn a lot, you will unable to know that you know nothing, because the more you learn, the less you know. Do you know that? That means the more you learn, when you know a lot of things, and you know that, oh, the thing that you know is just the sands of the beach. It's just a very tiny sand of the giant beach. Yeah. So just study, just learn, especially the culture, and try to travel to as much places as you can. Because when you travel a lot of a lot of places, you will understand about their culture. You will know much about, you will know more about their customs, their customs, their people, and after that you will expand your sympathy. Means that you will be able to give the sympathize to the people, to every people, and you will knows how to react, how to treat the people in the very respectful way. Yeah, and after that you will earn the respect from every people in the world. Yeah, yeah, and it's good. So that's why a lot of people really, if they have money, if they have the opportunity, they want to travel, and they use their money to travel all over the world to know more about the world. Yeah. Yes, but if you are live in a very the foreign country, and you want to work here forever, 5 years, 1,000 years, just remember that. Remember our nationality. Remember our nation. Remember our own culture, and do not miss it. Do not forget it. Still remain it, and take pride in it, just like the Japanese people do, just like every people do, because we are the one and only. Take pride in it. Yes, thank you very much.